Hello everybody and welcome to the fourth week of Simply Centered. I can't believe that we are completing our program together this week. It has gone by so fast, but I do want to also complete our macronutrient program that I have been walking us through the last couple of weeks. So I will include the links below for my quick talk about protein and carbohydrates, and today we're going to finish up with fats. So I know fats kind of have a bad reputation, or at least they did, especially in the 90s, but we're going to just talk through that and talk a little bit about how fats are really essential to our diet. So fat actually helps us to absorb our fat-soluble vitamins. It helps to insulate and cushion our internal organs. It can help with brain health. It can help with our cardiovascular health. So they're very important and critical as long as we're eating them, of course, in moderation, just like everything else in life. So for our caloric intake recommended values, it's 20 to 35% of our total calories a day should come from fats. Fats are going to carry a higher caloric value per gram, so it's 9 calories per gram, which in comparison to the other macronutrients is more than double. Protein and carbohydrates carry 4 calories per gram, so you'll see why the percentage is much lower on a daily basis. And like all our other macronutrients, not all fats are created equal. So two fats that are going to be really good for you are going to be your monosaturated fats and your polysaturated fats. Monosaturated fats are really going to help support your cardiovascular and your neurological health, and so it's important to have those in your diet. It also will help support your good cholesterol, and it's going to help lower your bad cholesterol, your LDLs. And these are typically liquid at room temperature, so you're going to be thinking about your vegetable oils, avocados, nuts, and seeds are also going to fall underneath the category of monosaturated fats. The second good type of fat that you're going to hear about is polysaturated fats, and those are actually broken down into two categories. They're broken down to omega-3s and omega-6s. And these are essential because our body really cannot synthesize these. So we do need to get them through our nutrition. Omega-3s are something that we don't usually get enough of in the Western diet, and we usually get a lot of the omega-6s. So some examples for omega-3s is you want to really think about what a Mediterranean diet looks like. So think about high fatty fish like salmon, mackerel, tuna is all really good examples. Some nuts like walnuts, some seeds like chia seeds, flax seeds, canola oil is also an example of an omega-3. So being a little bit more intentional of trying to get some of those fats in is really a good idea. Omega-6 fats are something that we are very typically going to have and see in our diet, like I mentioned. So safflower oils, nuts, seeds, soy, corn oil, and some of these are going to fall into both categories. So it's just being mindful and intentional of what we are consuming. But the omega-3s especially are great to be thinking of because they're going to help to reduce inflammation in your body. They're going to support your heart health. They're going to lessen the symptoms of depression, and they also even reduce the risk of cancer. So again, thinking about those omega-3 fats are going to be a great idea. If you need ideas about that, a simple Google search for Mediterranean diet will give you lots of great ideas and recipes. And now that we've talked about all the good ones, I do want to mention the bad fats and things that you're going to want to stay away from. So saturated fat, I think we've all heard about that, is not great for us at all. We don't want to be consuming too much of it. It should be less than 10% of our caloric intake. We want to try to avoid it. Saturated fats are going to be solid at room temperature, so you're going to think about lard, dairies such as butter, tropical oils. So that does include coconut oil, but coconut oil also has lots of great benefits. So yes, it technically is considered a saturated fat, but it is a better alternative than the others. And then finally, you'll want to also be thoughtful of and mindful of really fatty meats, because that's going to also fall within that saturated fat. And finally, trans fat. So if you ever hear hydrogenated oil, just do not eat it. No, I shouldn't say that. Obviously, if you have it in moderation, very, very, very moderate, that's okay. But we do want to avoid trans fat. It's not good for us. Examples of trans fat are going to be margarine, processed baked goods, fried foods, frozen foods, which is plentiful. They're all around us all the time. So it's really important for us to be thinking about not consuming those, because they're going to be linked to inflammation, and they're really going to be part of and linked to heart disease and hardening our arteries. So there's nothing good that's going to be coming out of those. So save those for your special treats. And also, just in general, I know I said that you're going to want to think about your caloric intake from 20 to 35% fats, and that's also going to be dependent on you. So really look at your body and how much you're moving physically, what your metabolism is, your genetics, and play around with consuming those good healthy fats, those monosaturated and those polysaturated fats, so you can nourish your body and optimize how you feel and your energy levels. And how this can be part of your holistic, healthy diet. So I hope this was helpful. I hope this broke down some of the barriers that you might be feeling around fats. And I hope this equips you on your next journey towards a healthy lifestyle. Thanks, everyone.